Hey guys, this is Dennis, the founder of Think Hero, and this is our review of the movie World War Z starring Brad Pitt. And next to me is someone new to Think Hero, Vince Foster, who's actually going to be popping up in videos from time to time, but he's actually here to be more when we start doing our sketch and narrative web series and stuff like that, because Vince is an actor. So how's it going?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me.
And
happy to be here.
Yeah, and I
watch World War Z.
Yeah, we both just watched it together. What'd you think overall?
I thought it was a good movie.
Okay.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. You know, I think a lot of people had made mention of it in comparison to other zombie flicks. So I tried to flush all that out and just watch it, you know, with a clean template, clean slate, and it was good. I mean, it was a fun ride, I thought.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was all right. I thought it was above average. It was not like it felt more. The first 2/3 of the movie really felt like a disaster movie to me. Something like 2012, Roland Emmerich's 2012 versus actual zombie movie. But then kind of the last third turned into more of the suspenseful thriller type of zombie.
Yeah, that you're right. That is how I rolled. It was like that. Yeah, it was like not two different movies, but you're watching two different kinds of, I don't know, kinds of action.
Yeah, because in the beginning part, it's just like all these crazy zombies coming at you and trying to kill people, and you see thousands and thousands of zombies.
Yeah, it was nuts.
And that's kind of why I thought at the end they were gonna have a big, huge climactic scene of just tons of zombies and tons of machine guns and soldiers and whatnot. But that's actually not what happened. It kind of turned more into more intimate, thriller type of kind of typical zombie, or you had mentioned before something like Jurassic Park with the velociraptors.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, the noises.
The noises and the stalking and the trying to get away from them and hiding and stuff like that.
Yeah, it did. It had a nice feel to it from Jurassic Park. It was good.
It was just much more suspenseful. As well.
Yeah, it drew. Well, they weren't relying on the masses of zombies, so they had to go back to being hunted.
So, what do you think of the acting in it?
I thought it was good. You know, it's this type of film is very technical. The acting is very technical because the amount of editing and the amount, the sheer number of shots. It's you just have to be able to run, yell, scream, punch, kick, dive.
It's not a dramatic film.
Right. It's you're just, marking it off the checklist.
Yeah. I thought everyone was pretty good. Obviously Brad Pitt is the main star, and he's kind of the main guy you see throughout. And I always forget her name. Her name is Mariel Enos. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. She's the lead character in the TV show The Killing on AMC. Right. She plays the wife, and I thought she was really good. She's one of those women that they're attractive, they're beautiful, but they're not that type of model type of beautiful.
Right. Very real quality.
Yeah, real quality, and there's a strength about her.
Right.
That I like. That does, a lot of times you have a female lead or co-lead, and where they're trying to be like a man.
Yeah.
They're trying to take on male characteristics to be tough,
Right.
She doesn't have that. She still has a motherly quality to her, but at the same time still is strong.
Yeah. I think they just broke it down very simple for that dynamic. They make it about family throughout, and they kind of remind you of that. Seeds that are planted throughout the movie that just make it very universal in the sense of just, you're the family unit.
There's one actor that I really liked, but he was kind of barely in it, and I thought he was going to be in it more, which was David Morse. He played that the CIA agent that was in the prison in South Korea. It's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. I was you kind of see him, and then I'm we're going to see him again, or they're going to tie back into him. Never see him again.
Yeah.
I totally missed him, but Matthew Fox.
Yeah,
in there
for the hottest of seconds.
Yeah.
This guy was in and out with one line.
Yeah, the Jack from Lost, the lead character from Lost, Jack.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was in it. I looked at the IMDb. I was like, he was in it, and I asked you, and you're like, yeah, he was the guy in there. And
I recognized actually his voice. I didn't even see him. I don't know if he just was like, hey, throw me in here, or it was kind of like in Avengers in Iron Man when what's his face is in the movie. No, Thor. in Thor where who is it? Hawkeye? Where he's in
Oh,
it for like a second.
yeah.
But I mean, but they're planting that.
Yeah.
I don't think for this they're really planting.
No, I think they had shot a bunch of scenes with him and they cut him out.
Yeah. Well, they gave him a line, so he's in it. But yeah.
Well, I know Damon Lindelof, one of the main writers for Lost. He did some writing on this script, which is based on a book. But I heard the book. It's a 2006 book by Max Brooks. I heard the book itself is kind of nothing like this movie. It's just kind of the inspiration for this movie, and it's told from like many different perspectives from many different countries.
Okay.
And they kind of just like took that as inspiration to make this movie. So.
They kept the countries in there.
Yeah, I think there was
travel
more.
all over the place.
But apparently, I don't know if you saw Soderbergh's Contagion.
Yeah, I did.
Like, why is it in these kind of virus type movies, like this movie was kind of sold? Why does these viruses always start like they don't say where it starts, but they always hint at like these things starting in Asia somewhere. like in Contagion, it was I forgot where, but it was like in some Eastern Asian country. In this one, they're like, in Taiwan somewhere.
Right.
Well,
India, the first stop was South Korea.
like always, like are they trying to say something that like Asian people are like dirty people who cause these viruses to spread?
I don't know. I think that's a really great question, Dennis. I think we need to do some investigating.
Two big movies that have that common thread in it.
Yeah, we're wreaking havoc. We're causing all the problems.
One of the things that I thought was a bit weaker than I would have liked for this type of movie is the action. Just because the director Mark Forster, he's done movies like Finding Neverland and Monsters Ball and Stranger Than Fiction, but the movie that most people know him from is he directed the James Bond movie Quantum of Solace, which one of the problems with that movie was the action was poorly done. Like there was like scenes you could tell from the beginning in Quantum of Solace, like the car chase in the very beginning, they're just cutting quickly between like his face and his gear shifting, and like they kind of did. And I kind of got that in parts of this movie, especially like in the beginning with there's a sequence in an apartment building in the dark and
in the staircase.
Right, I remember asking you, I was like, where did that kid come from? There's like a kid in there that's part of the story. I'm like, where'd he come from? And you told me, oh yeah, he just popped in. I'm like, really? Because
if you had to, it was like 3 seconds. Like you had to catch that frame where he and Brad Pitt sort of lock eyes for a moment. And
because everything was just kind of really shaky and dark, and I don't mind shaky cam. Like I think it works well when it's done well, like in The Bourne Ultimatum. And stuff like that, but in this one, I think especially in the beginning, it was a bit too much, and I just couldn't tell what was going on.
Right. Yeah, and partially I think that was their intention, but if you bleed over into where everything is so gray and vague, it's you don't really. You're having to try and think rather than just be in the staircase running around. I did like how they just jumped right to it though. Like they just throw you in the movie. They give you. What
5 minutes of setup or something like that,
and then it's on. Like as soon as they're in traffic, it begins, and I mean that
we didn't have to
love
wait.
That.
Yeah, we didn't have to wait.
Right, like 20 minutes for the action to begins. Like as soon as that cop gets smashed, and I think that's in the trailer too.
Yeah, it is.
As soon as he gets it, that's it. Like it's on from that moment till about 5 minutes before it ends, and then they kind of ease you into the credits.
yeah. And one of the main things that I did say to you right after we saw the movie was I almost felt like we didn't see a whole movie.
Yeah,
it felt incomplete to me, just because I'm not going to give away spoilers, but when the movie ends, it doesn't really end. They kind of, it's not even a cliffhanger. They kind of just end it in a way that like, okay, this really isn't that. He even says it,
Yeah, it's just the beginning.
Yeah, and so like you're kind of left going, okay, well I'm waiting for this other part of the movie that really doesn't happen, and they're kind of saying, okay, it's going to be in the sequel. I almost felt like this was like the premiere episode, like a pilot episode to a TV show, like a 2-hour pilot.
Right.
That next week we're supposed to tune in
for
more. But,
yeah. But okay, so what was your favorite Because there are many action sequences. What was your favorite action sequence?
I think in Israel. I think in Israel
When they're like when they're running through like the gate and they're coming up on top of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, Israel is where you see the most zombies. You see it in the trailer. There's thousands and thousands of zombies coming up, and there's a helicopter shooting them and stuff.
Right.
I thought that was pretty cool. I like one. It was in daytime, so you could actually see what was going on, and it wasn't all shaky, and you could see all this stuff happening. You can just see kind of the devastation and disaster type of destruction that's happening.
Yeah, I like the part with the helicopter. He's cruising up and they're about to jump on it, but it's right over that wall. And then it looks like ants. They begin to just look like these swarms of insects because there's just so many of them.
Yeah. So overall, I would give the movie a B-. I think it's entertaining, but it's not something you have to rush out and see. If you see it, I mean, if you want to see it in the theaters, I think it's cool just to see like all those thousands of zombies on the big screen, which I think might lose something if you let's say rent it at home.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, the story wise, like it's not like, oh, you have to run out and see this. What about you?
I'm gonna give it a B+.
Okay.
And because I really like the score at the very beginning and at the end, it had like kind of a ode to the 80s. It had like the synthesizers.
Oh, okay.
So that gets the plus for me. I give it the plus. I like that.
All right, guys. So that's what we thought of World War Z. You can post your comments below on the website or on the YouTube video below. As always, you can chat with us on Twitter. Mine is at ThinkHero. What's your Twitter handle?
It's at Vince Foster.
Vince Foster.
That's it.
Yeah, it's nice and easy.
Yep.
And as always, make sure you subscribe to our channel. That's and this is the new Think Hero channel, so you may or may not be subscribed. If you think you already are, it's Think Hero Pro. And you also can check us out on Facebook. That's facebook.com/ThinkHeroFans.